Honoured guest, Chair of Governors, fellow governors, director, staff, parents, guardians, relatives, friends and students, welcome to our 32nd Speech Day. Today is about celebrating, and celebrating the many achievements is what we are going to do. If you're looking for a title for today, it is, What does an education teach you? What does an education teach us? I'd like to get back to that in a moment and start by thanking a few people. The governors for their commitment to the school. They give of their time, prayer, wisdom and energy and get very little thanks. Do know that we appreciate you. Parents, thank you for the partnership we have with you. Thank you for entrusting your children in our care. I specifically want to thank you for your support and walking with us in this difficult time of COVID-19. To the teachers and greater staff body, we are blessed to have such a diligent, motivated, and caring group of professionals. I'm particularly proud of them and how they've moved so quickly into online learning and adapting to this new space. I've taught around the world, and this is one of the best teams that I've worked with. Thank you for the countless hours you have given to the school. Do know I appreciate you greatly. I'll thank them in more detail, but there are some people that are leaving at the end of this academic year, so do know that we have special assemblies for them. But I do want to acknowledge the leaving staff in no particular order. Mr. Twigger, Mr. Ngare, Ms. Seeley, Ms. Hopkinson, Mr. Matthias, Mrs. Matthias, Mr. Hutton, Ms. Courier, and Mr. Scammels. We wish you all well. I know that speech days are normally about reflecting on all that has happened over the past year. I'm not going to do that, but rather focus on the education we have received of late. The education thanks to COVID-19. Picture where you were roughly a year ago. Think about that. Now imagine this. Someone tells you in the future, things are going to change dramatically, that schools will close in a matter of days. People will have to stay at home. Friends will not be able to hug each other, to greet each other by shaking hands. People will have to wear masks and continually wash their hands. Cities will be locked down. Aircrafts will be grounded. Borders will be closed. Finances will be wiped out. Tens of thousands of people will die from a virus that will not be seen but will easily be transmitted. That the world will grind to a halt because of a sickness. I don't know about you, but if someone had said that to me, I may have said that there is absolutely no way something like that could happen. We are a school community, and you came to Turi for an education. What is an education? An education is about learning from what we have been taught. But sometimes we don't always want to engage with what we're being taught. If you look back on the last few months, what has COVID-19 taught you? Often we are so fixated about the next thing in life. We say, when I'm wealthy, I will do this, or I can't wait to be on holiday to do that, or when I finish school, I will do this, or I will do this when COVID-19 is over. There is a yearning for the future and not focusing on the importance of being thankful about right now. It is such an easy trap that we all fall into. So how has COVID-19 educated us? During this time, I have witnessed much, but want to focus on 3 values: courage, compassion, and integrity. Courage. I've seen students and teachers show real courage, adapting and growing in virtual learning. It was not easy to start with, but there has been good progress thanks to people's courageous attitudes. I've seen courage in students performing live in assemblies, singing for everyone to see and hear. I've seen courage in people sitting exams in the confines of their own home with a webcam on them and their parents in the same room. Not an easy situation. I've seen technology fail people, and people make mistakes with technology, but yet people have had the courage to carry on. I've seen this community soldier through power outages and technology challenges. I've seen staff work countless hours preparing for online learning, and I've seen students, teachers and parents get frustrated with technology, but yet they have had the courage not to give up. Has COVID-19 been a good education? Moving on to compassion. I've seen some people very lonely during this time, missing their friends and loved ones. But I've also seen a compassion from members of this school community. I've seen students and teachers look how best to support, encourage, care, and love others in this community. I've seen people bless other people far less fortunate than themselves. I've seen this community give of their time for those who need it. I've seen people anxious, yet others have reached out to comfort them. I've seen this community look outside of their own needs during prayer sessions, lifting others up who are in need. I have seen a lot of compassion in these difficult times. Has COVID-19 been a good educator? And now for integrity. I've seen a real integrity in people. There was a temptation for students to potentially try and cheat when not sitting exams at school. Yet students have not done that. They have done the right thing, even under trying conditions. I've seen people's real characters shine through in this time. When under pressure, because of all that COVID-19 has thrown at this community, I've seen real growth in character. Students, staff and parents have worked through challenging times and have succeeded. I've seen a real resilience in our school community in spite of these difficulties. I've seen people do the right thing. Has COVID-19 been a good educator? So when I reflect on what has happened, being an educationalist, am I happy about COVID-19? No, I'm not happy, but I am thankful for what it has taught us. It has challenged us and certainly asked us to dig deep, bringing courage, compassion, and integrity to the fore. These are valuable lifelong lessons. I've seen a growing relationship between the school and parents with honest and valued feedback. I've seen our community look for the best in each other. I've seen board members give up even more time for the school community because it matters to them. So, am I thankful for the COVID-19 education? Yes, I am. I'm proud of how our community has learned from what it has been taught. So to everyone, but specifically to our leaving class, our learnings, my hope, you will apply in life all of this. Let us not live in what the future may be, but embrace the challenges, because challenges will always come. Embrace the challenges that are now and be thankful for what the present is teaching us right now. And that is my challenge to myself and to every one of us. So now that we have spoken about the present, let me briefly talk about the future. While the immediate future is still uncertain, parents and students do know, as you will hear from the Chair of Governors, that we are planning for all eventualities come September. I know we would all love to see each other in person come the start of the academic year. We are missing you, and I want you to know that, students of Turi. Do know that as a school, we are working very hard with the board planning for all possibilities. If we return to school, the safety of our community is paramount. If we are continuing with some form of virtual learning, then know that we are looking to learn from the past to see how we can improve for the future. Our community matters to us, virtually or physically. Moving to today, we will recognize those that have led in a particular subject or sphere of the school. I'd also like to say well done to each student for the part they play in this school, regardless if they will be recognized today or not. Some final thanks, looking specifically at today's speech day. Organizing a virtual event is not easy. And I'd like to thank Mr. Williams, Ms. Mully, Mrs. Chires, Mr. Narango, Mrs. Thurlow, Mr. Ngumbi, Mr. Masobo, Mr. Levi, Mr. Gugi, and Ms. Kanyi. You have been outstanding. It is a privilege to work with you. More generally, I would like to thank our management team, the team they are, our chaplain for his continual support, prayer and spiritual mentorship, and specifically our two deputies who are incredible. It is a privilege to work with you both. To our finance director who is leaving, it is sad to bid you farewell. Mrs. Sakuda, thank you for being a person of character and for the countless hours you have given the school. Mr. Llewellyn is also sadly leaving at the end of this year. I count myself blessed to have worked with him for the past 5 years. He is a real professional and a person of integrity. I have learned so much from him. I'd like to recognize him for leading with Christ at the center in all that he does. It has been a joy and an absolute pleasure working with him. Mr. Boulle, our director, thank you for listening to me, for your direction, support, and wise counsel. I really appreciate it. Leading is a real joy, but it's not easy at times. And I want to thank, as I always do, my best friend and wife, Claire. You are a pillar of strength. Your love, care, and what you do behind the scenes so effortlessly is immense. I'm not sure words will ever do my thoughts justice. And lastly, to my God and my Savior, Jesus, thank you for your grace and love. You are everything. Thank you, and God bless.